Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. It's reported that Pooh Shiesty's house was raided. They ran up in his house. They took all this from the videos that he's doing, the song he made when he came home. They said it was too crazy, first day out. But we're going to break this down to see if this rumor is true or if it's false. Y'all know, put it in the comments before we get started. All right. You know what it is, Unique Mecca Audio, man. We're here. We're going to break this down to see if this rumor is true or not, all right? But I want you to see the length that they go through when they make these videos so you can see I just be having fun, and that's how I got disgusted at a lot of this YouTube stuff.
The barrage of bullets sending 2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
Pooh Shiesty just got raided after violating his release terms after only being out for 3 months.
False.
Behind his first day out celebration, this Memphis rapper was moving reckless in ways that ultimately led to his freedom being snatched away again. You know the feds play dirty, and when he was dissing them on his first day out song, which has over 25 million views now, they made sure to get his ass.
See, that's what I'm saying. He made a song, and he did what he had to do as far as to live up to the image, and he performed the song, and now they scrutinize his lyrics like if he's attacking the feds. You see how crazy this is? Somebody explain this to me, because I'm a little confused right now.
The shocking truth behind what brought him down is more predictable than anyone wants to admit, and we're about to break down exactly how he fumbled the bag. But before we get into all that, let me break down everything for y'all boys.
Yeah, break it
This
down.
Memphis rapper was supposed to be living his second chance when federal agents ran up in his spot and violated his parole. Now hold up before y'all start thinking this came out of nowhere. Homie been moving like he didn't care about his freedom since day one. But here
Now, this is the only part that I think is real crazy in this video, but the rest of this, I'm watching it for entertainment. I hope y'all watch it for entertainment as well. I got it from Rap Threads. But, you know, it's not to diss them. I just want to prop them. And I think this is funny that they go through the length of making videos and not having facts. But it's content. Huh? Put in the comment, you think that's right to be able to do this, to say that the man got raided, he's back behind bars, and none of this is true? Somebody explain to me what you think of that, all right?
Here's where it gets real spicy. He was practically begging to go back. For those who haven't been keeping up, Pooh Shiesty came home after serving just under 5 years of what was supposed to be an 8-year sentence. The feds originally wanted him to do 20 years, but his legal team got it knocked down. Still, coming home early on federal parole means you're walking on thin ice every single day. When Pooh Shiesty first came home, he was supposed to be on his best behavior. Federal parole ain't no joke, fam. You got curfews, check-ins, and a whole list of things you can't do. But this dude, he was moving like the feds wasn't watching. I remember when he was on Ben the Don stream, and his parole officer called him asking where he was. Bro was supposed to be home for his curfew, but he was out in the streets past his time. And
he co-lied to his PO on a live stream that you know they're going to grab and make shorts and sound bites and everything else out of it, and his PO is going to wind up seeing it.
He lied to his PO while on camera. Ben had to mute the mic because he knew that was some hot type shit.
Hello? Yeah, Latrell Williams. Yeah, I'm at the house.
I'm at the house in the Maybach. I'm in the driveway with a green screen. You can try that one.
All right.
Look at this man. Yo, all this man is saying is clicks, clicks. Oh, you know how many views I'm gonna get off this? Oh my God, mute the mic, but keep the camera rolling. That's a content creator, right or wrong? Hold on. Do you think that this man is right or wrong for keeping the tape rolling, or he should have told him, yo, cut the tape when he saw how serious this was? You think they should have just cut the tape? Or you think his man was just thinking about views and clicks, or his man just wasn't thinking and he wasn't thinking? But if they knew to cut the mic, I think they should have cut the video as well. So none of this would have got out. What do you think? Put it in the comments.
No. You said what? Yes, I am. Yes, I am, man.
And he said, yes, I am, man.
Check it a good. That's where I live at. That's where I live at. Refresh it. That's where I live at. Look, I ain't lying to you. I ain't playing no game.
You can mute the joint right now,
my
Twin.
I don't want to play like that.
That's some real reckless behavior right there.
What do you think about that behavior? Somebody let me know. The man is steady saying, man, I'm home. Yes, I am. Check it again. And he riding in the Maybach chilling, diamond out.
The crazy part is, this wasn't just a one-time thing. Pooh Shiesty been moving like he was untouchable since day one. He was posting on social media, flexing with jewelry, cars, and talking that street talk like he wasn't still technically a federal prisoner on
Man, he was performing, man. He was earning his bag, man. Don't try and hit him for earning his bag, dog.
supervised release. But yo, this is where the story gets deeper than just violating curfew. See, Pooh Shiesty been telling on himself through his music. In his lyrics, he straight up said, "Out on paper with a fully ARP sitting on my counter." Now in the streets, we know Pooh don't rap cap. When he says something in his bars, that's his reality. For y'all who might not understand, an ARP is a fully automatic weapon, something
All right, and he's rapping. That's what the fans want to hear. They don't want to hear him talk about two violins and a flute. They want to hear him talking about the AA and the Draco and all that other alphabetical firearms.
federal parolee definitely can't have. The real kicker though, he was staying in a halfway house as part of his release conditions. Let me explain what that is for those who don't know.
Yo, they really blew this out that all of this happened. Could y'all believe this? Put it in the comments if you think this is right or wrong, man.
When federal inmates get released early, they don't just go straight home. They got to stay in a transitional facility called a halfway house. You sleep there every night, follow strict rules, and gradually earn more freedom. It's designed to help people readjust to society, but you still got to follow federal guidelines. In a halfway house, you got a curfew. Usually you got to be back by a certain time every night. You can't just come and go as you please. You got to get permission to travel, permission to work certain jobs, and you definitely can't be around other felons or gang members. The whole point is to slowly transition you back into society while keeping you under close supervision. But here's the thing about federal supervision. They don't play games. State parole might give you some slack, but federal parole officers are trained to watch your every move. They can search your place anytime, drug test you randomly, and if you violate even the smallest rule, you're going right back to finish your sentence. For someone like Pooh Shiesty, who's the CEO of Choppa Gang, this supervision was supposed to be even stricter. The feds don't just watch individuals, they watch organizations. When you're the head of something called Choppa Gang, you already know they keeping tabs on everyone you associate with, everywhere you go, and everything you do. Now let's talk about what got Pooh Shiesty in this whole mess to begin with. This wasn't his first rodeo with the law.
Yeah, they say like, this is factual that let's talk about what got him in this mess to begin with. No, stop it. He need to make a music video about this.
And his pattern of behavior shows he never really learned his lesson. The case that sent him away originally involved some serious street business. Back in 2020, Pooh Shiesty was involved in multiple incidents that caught federal attention. The main case involved him robbing somebody after meeting up with them, then shooting them during the robbery.
Now, in just one station, surveillance cameras showing a new view of a violent shootout in a parking lot of a South Florida apartment building. The barrage of bullets sending 2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail.
According to court documents, this wasn't just a random crime.
And it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
Rhode Island says you're wanted. With Mr. Williams, you were arrested for pursuant to an arrest.
It was part of a pattern of violent behavior that the feds had been tracking. But that wasn't even the end of it. There's also the story about him shooting up a club after getting his money snatched. During that incident, he shot a security guard who was just trying to do his job.
Popular rapper arrested. He's accused of shooting a security guard at a South Florida gentleman's club and will remain behind bars. A judge denied bond for 21-year-old Lontrell Williams.
Real talk, when you're moving like that in the streets, you're not just putting yourself at risk. You're endangering innocent people trying to make a living. The federal government built their case around multiple incidents, including armed robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, and conspiracy charges. They painted a picture of Pooh Shiesty as someone who used violence as his first option, not his last resort. The prosecution argued that he was a danger to the community and needed to be locked up for the full 20 years they originally sought. His defense team worked hard to get that sentence reduced, arguing that he was young, had potential as an artist, and could be rehabilitated. They got it down to 8 years, which was still a significant sentence, but much better than the 2 decades he was facing. When Pooh Shiesty came home, he had everything going for him. His first day out song was doing numbers. He was getting plaques, driving foreign cars, and even rumored to be with India Love. He had the opportunity to build a legitimate empire, but somehow he still managed to mess it up. The First Day Out track was more than just a song. It was a statement. He was telling the world he was back, he was focused, and he was ready to take over the rap game. The song got millions of views, and for a minute it looked like he was going to be one of those success stories, the guy who learned from his mistakes and used his second chance to build something real. But behind the scenes, the street's been talking about how he was moving. People who knew him said he never really left that street mentality behind. He was still hanging with the same people, still talking that same talk, and still moving like he was invincible. The problem with federal parole is that they're watching everything. Your social media posts, your music videos, who you're hanging with, where you're going, everything is under a microscope. When you're rapping about having automatic weapons while you're on supervised release, that's not just artistic expression, that's evidence. The real tea that got everybody.
Do you think that should be artistic expression, or you think that's evidence? Somebody put in the comment, because I don't agree with them doing that. You put in the comments why or why not. Because now with all of these rumors they just said about him getting locked up, they rated him. So if he made a song about this right now and put it out and made the video with it and showed him getting arrested, you know, would they be able to use that against him? And it never happened? But because something happened and you rap about it, they attach it to you? Somebody put in the comments and let me know.
Shook was how Ben the Don first broke the news on his stream. During a live broadcast, Ben got a phone call about the raid. You could hear the shock in his voice when he found out they took everything and cleaned them up. Ben tried to keep it low-key at first, but the streets was already talking. In the clip that went viral, you can hear Ben telling his caller, "You remember that bet when Buddy had this right here and I told you he going to jail? He's going back."
Remember that bet when Buddy had this right here? And I told you, I was like, he going to jail?
Yeah.
He's going back.
The way he said it showed this wasn't completely unexpected.
But that's
People who knew Pooh Shiesty's situation saw this coming. But here's where it gets interesting.
See it coming?
Ben later tried to say on Twitter that the call wasn't about Pooh Shiesty. He tweeted, "I understand y'all gotta get y'all money, but that's cap as F. Shy ain't have a MF thing to do with that call." Whether he was trying to deflect or protect his homie, we don't know. But the facts came out anyway. The raid itself was probably planned for weeks or even months. Federal agents don't just show up randomly. They build cases, gather evidence, and strike when they have everything they need. Based on what we know, they went to his spot, found whatever they were looking for, and
Can you believe they did all this to make it look like this is how the feds rolled up with Pooh Shiesty, Jordan? I ain't gonna front. I enjoyed the video, but you know, I know what the facts are, so I can separate the two and watch this for the entertainment that it is. But this is definitely, look at this, man. This is how they rolled up in Pooh Shiesty house. They rolled up in Pooh Shiesty house.
took him into custody immediately. Later, all the blogs started posting about Pooh Shiesty being back in custody.
Word.
DJ Academics confirmed it with the federal prison records, showing Pooh Shiesty's real name, Lontrell Donnell Williams Jr., his register number, and his new release date, April 11th, 2026. That date is significant because that was his original release date before he got out early on parole. Now,
if that's what happened, that means that he's still on halfway house time because he's still in federal custody. If you're in federal custody and you're in the halfway house, you got an ankle bracelet on, you're at your own house, confinement, whatever, they still consider you as far as being in BOP custody until they cut that off. So that's why that date is the same. But all this other stuff they saying, none of this didn't happen. You know, I just used it a title because that's what the video was about, but I had to clarify this. I can't run with a false narrative like that, you know, just so you understand. This is real crazy, but it's enjoyable, and that's all it's for.
This ain't just about one violation. This is about a pattern of behavior that shows Pooh Shiesty never really took his second chance seriously. The street's been talking about how he was moving since he came home, and it wasn't looking good. For y'all,
it was looking excellent. We watched over millions of people watched the video, so he's doing a pretty good job.
All who might not understand federal parole, let me explain. When you get released early from federal prison, you're still technically serving your sentence, just in the community instead of behind bars. You got strict conditions, curfews, regular check-ins, no weapons, no associating with known felons, and definitely no criminal activity. Violate any of these and you go right back to finish your original sentence.
Facts.
The fact that his release date is April 11th, 2026, his original release date, tells us this is likely a parole violation, not new charges. If he had caught new charges, he'd be looking at additional time on top of his original sentence. Instead, they're just making him serve out the rest of his original 8-year sentence. The real question is what exactly triggered the raid? Was it his lyrics about having weapons? Was it him being out past curfew? Was it associating with other gang members? Or was it something they found during a routine check?
Like this really
Based
happened.
on the timeline and the way everything
That's
went
why I'm just
down,
letting
it
it
seems
play. I
like the
just wanted
feds
y'all
have
to
been
see it,
building
to
a case
enjoy
for
it
his
like I did.
violation for a while. They probably had evidence of multiple violations. The curfew incident on Ben's stream, his lyrics about weapons, maybe surveillance showing him with prohibited associates. This is bigger than just one rapper though. This is about the cycle that keeps pulling young black men back into the system. When you come from the streets, it's hard to completely disconnect from that lifestyle, especially when that's what made you famous in the first place. The music industry doesn't help either. Labels want that authentic street credibility, fans want to hear about that life, and social media rewards the most outrageous behavior. So you got artists caught between staying true to what got them famous and staying free to enjoy their success. For Pooh Shiesty, his whole brand was built on being that street dude. Chopper gang, the gun talk, the robbery stories, that's what made him hot. But when you're on federal supervision,
That's
you
what
can't
made
live
him hot
that
as
brand
far as
anymore. You gotta find a way
streams.
to evolve your artistry without violating your parole conditions. What makes this situation even more tragic is the ripple effect it has on his community and his fans. Young people look up to these artists, and when they see someone get a second chance and blow it, it sends a message that maybe change isn't really possible. Pooh Shiesty had the platform to show kids in Memphis and other cities that you can come from the streets, make mistakes, pay your debt to society, and still build something legitimate. Instead, he became another example of what not to do. The financial impact is huge too. He was making real money, streaming revenue, show money, endorsement deals.
And still
all
making
of that
it.
stops when you're locked up. His team, his
He ain't
family,
locked up.
everyone who depended on his success is now left hanging while he serves out the rest of his sentence. And let's talk about the legal costs. Fighting federal cases is
Hey, yo, I gotta end this there, man. I can't do no more of this, man. But I just wanted to show you how the internet has turned my stomach, and that's why I've kind of slowed down on the videos. I gotta find a different lane to still give a positive message. But this is the type of messages that they putting out, that a man is locked up back in jail, and I take that serious to my heart for them to even wish that on another man, especially a man that just served X amount of years of his life in prison. So that moves me, and I apologize for not doing video, but I'm gonna start back again. You know what I mean? I think I got an angle to go down, but like I said, my joint gotta be positive, man. You know, I love doing the celebrity stuff and mixing in the street and the prison stories in with the celebrity gossip. That's why I do it. I try not to go all celebrity, but you know, the rumors that's out about the celebrities on the streets is just so far-fetched and, you know, so hard to even verify, and I'm not just gonna really say nothing unless I know something, you know? And, you know, that's where we at with that, man. But, you know, make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel, Juanita Mecca Audio, and my man Real Ball TTTV at YouTube, Unique Mecca Audio Prison Stories, to hear the prison stories, and Mecca Audio TV to see the previous videos that I've done over the years that I've been home. All right?
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. An Instagram page and a YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself linked in. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be whoring uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish there. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours, so we can give back to the.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself linked in. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio.